because sometimes you have really nasty customers. There's one example of Lufthansa. It was a customer from the Miles and More program. One of the top customers was a Hon Circle, and it was not any customer. It was one of the 10% best customers of Lufthansa. Hon Circle. He complained about leg space between the seats. Made a suggestion. He waited for some feedback, but nothing came. So he rewrote again. Nobody never answered. And so this is exactly the baddest thing you can do. So he started to become angry. He wrote to the CEO of Lufthansa. He did not answer. And meanwhile, this is also something that happened and is done by all frequent flyer programs, because the frequent flyer programs are very expensive. So they inflated the value of the miles by changing the miles scheme.
This is something that happens a lot for frequent flyer schemes. So for every mile that was flown with the airline, the customer gets less miles that are credited on the frequent flyer program card. And so he has less value for the miles that are actually flown with the airline. Becoming aware about this procedure and deflation of miles, this customer became even more angry and did another complaint in the service recovery department of Lufthansa. He did not get any answer, and so he decided to do a boycott of the airline. So he broke his frequent flyer card, and finally he engaged into a social media campaign, created a Facebook group on which he talked about his negative experiences, where he did negative word of mouth and did negative reviews about his negative experiences on the social media. And this was shared through social sharing to other passengers who joined the Facebook group, and the group became bigger and bigger and larger. And so there was a large number of dissatisfied Lufthansa passengers doing a shitstorm on social media. This group of customers filed a complaint with the highest court in Germany, and they finally got reason. He won the process because it was illegal to deflate miles that are actually acquired, which were acquired in the past. That is why the Constitutional Court decided that the airlines, including Lufthansa, could deflate future earned miles, but not past earned miles.
He did negative word of mouth. He did destruction of the brand image of Lufthansa. He became unloyal because he was one of the biggest customers of the brand. He created a boycott movement with Facebook, and you can imagine that all the big news magazines, for example in Germany, Spiegel, FAZ, and all these journals took over the story and talked, which was very negative communication for the brand. In summary, what happened? The customer hated the brand. He became unloyal. He started boycotts. He did negative word of mouth, and he committed into a law procedure. Lufthansa lost, and they lost a lot. They lost image, they lost customers, they lost a lot of money. And that is why sometimes it makes sense through an adequate service recovery management. They could have avoided the whole troubles they experienced. And this is actually what's happening quite often. When we talk about shitstorms, this is typically what happens when customers become nasty and angry. When they want to free emotions against the brand in order to commit into negative actions.